Hey, what's going on? I got one of our clients, Ramzi, on the line, and just want to bring him on and showcase his results that we got with Executive Advantage and working with us. So, Ramzi, why don't you tell everyone who you are, what you do, and where you're at before you started working with us?
Yeah, absolutely, Mitch. Thanks so much for inviting me on this call. It'll be more than my pleasure to tell you a little bit better about what we've been doing in our journey so far with Executive Advantage. So, a little bit about ourselves. I'm the director of Lux Sales Consulting. We specialize in teaching financial service professionals how they can predictably grow their business. So, we've joined the Executive Advantage team March last year. So, it's probably been almost 6, 7, 8 months now. But yeah, this is what we do. We joined the program because we were primarily struggling with lead generation. But in a nutshell, that's what we do. I'll let you lead the way with some follow up questions.
Yeah. So, one of the things that I know when you first started working with us is like you're also helping a bunch of different people doing digital marketing. You're doing like sales consulting. You're doing a whole bunch of different things, right? So, how did we help you really like simplify the business and also like your personal life as well to like just be laser focused and create those results? Like, how do we help you simplify your business and life?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So at the beginning, when I joined, you mentioned it. We were trying to go after different types of verticals, even different types of niches with different types of solutions. In a way, that approach is a double-edged sword because now you're just all over the place. So when we joined the Executive Advantage program, one of the main things that really helped us is narrow down on the solution and the niche that we're going after. Because if there's something that made a substantial difference in our growth and substantial difference in our closing rates, it's just that focus helping us narrow down. So after going through some of the modules in your course, it really allowed us to really focus on one main niche. So we ended up by solely only working with financial service professionals moving forward. And even our solution was a lot more tailored. It gave us a lot better of an idea in terms of where we're trying to grow the business, where we're trying to take it, what kind of clients we're trying to sort of come on board. And your program, a lot of the modules in there are honestly super clear and they were super, super helpful. Um, and yeah, like for us, like when we joined, your program, you mentioned how it takes like it's over like 6 weeks or whatever it may be. It's like I got the whole program done in a week, right? A lot of people, a lot of prospects, a lot of clients will say, like, how long does it take? How long does it take? But at the end of the line, it's about what you're putting in. You get back what you put in. So for us, when I came in, I crushed the whole course in about a week. And one of the main things that really made a difference is exactly that part. The niching down, getting a little bit more focused, not only on the solution and niche, but also how to generate these appointments. We were all over the place, Mitch. So I had guys over the phone. We were doing email outreach, cold outreach. We were before the pandemic. We were trying to go out there, so we were all over the place, and that was a mess. Not just a mess from a result standpoint, but psychologically. You don't have much. You're stressing. You don't know what strategy to use, what approach to use. We just had no structure, and I think not I think I'm sure the AA that's what brought us the structure we needed, because at that point we just went uphill.
Mm. Yeah. And that's critical, man. I know even when I went like really laser focused, that's when I had like massive growth in my own business. And another thing that I know you mentioned is like you were doing all these different like outreach methods and all these
Yeah.
things. And one of the things that we really focus on and we helped you with is like integrating those systems and processes into the business, right? So how did that help and really get you those results?
It was night and day. We had no systems. I had no systems in place that could predictably get me leads in my pipeline. One of the biggest advantages in this EA program is actually these systems that you share with us. So for us, we like literally eliminated every other channel and we put our 100% all our focus in that main strategy. And you teach how a lot of the gurus out there that we were hearing before, it's like you got to paid ads is the way to go, right? And for you, you're coming in and you're like, no, the base is organic, but also systems driven, which is huge for a business owner and an entrepreneur in a business like ours. So for us, that was a game changer because not only did you provide structure, you provided focus and you provided systems. So game changer, and we had no systems before, Mitch. So to answer your question, yeah, it was night and day the difference.
Mm, hmm. Yeah, and I know another thing that we did with this system is something that you've really integrated into your sales process, which we talk about in the sales process, which is the pre-selling mechanism, right?
Yeah.
And then I really started to like tell you like, man, you got to really dial that in and start leveraging it. And and now Like, why don't you tell, like, how has that helped with, like, your sales calls, your sales process, even getting appointments on the calendar? Like, how has this pre-selling mechanism help you even, like, close deals?
Yeah. Well, the pre-selling mechanism is part of your closing funnel, which you helped me implement. So I want to make something clear here. It is the whole funnel that made me get the success that I'm looking for. One of the things in the way that we close business is obviously that video sales letter, which is a super, super powerful tool, sometimes greatly undervalued. So for me, I had no video sales letter before, right? Honestly, it's not something I ever thought I would need, but you help me not only create it, you help me have the right positioning around it. And I'm getting people that are getting on the calls 100% pre-sold. I've literally had a person watch the call within 5 minutes in, it was closed. He's like, Ramzi, you don't need to sell me anything. I just finished watching your video sales letter. Like, skip all the crap. I'm ready. And me, I'm like, okay, wow. And like, obviously, not all of them close within 5 minutes, but the feedback that I'm getting from the people watching the video sales letter, if they watched it all, it's game over. It's as simple as that. So super, super powerful tool. And your module about it is super, super clear. And your feedback on it was obviously very valuable to us.
Awesome, man. Yeah, that was a game changer for me as well, is because I was spending so much time explaining, telling them, oh, I'm going to do all this, and they had no idea really what it was. Right. And then when I started to put it beforehand, I started just thinking about all of the questions I was getting, all the objections I was getting. And why don't we just front load them, put them before I get on the call? And then when we get on the call, it's just a simple, conversation. And if it's a good fit, we enroll you. It's very simple, and it's very, very powerful. And I know it helped me a lot. And I tried every variation. Right, I've tried every variation of the sales process, right, and I found that to be the most efficient and get the highest quality results for the input. And I know another thing that you have is, and what I really helped you with is, because there's a lot of other people that are going after financial advisors, financial planners, and one of the biggest things that I helped you with is coming up with that proprietary method and the messaging. So how has that helped you with really just stand out or even just get more calls on the calendar?
No, that's a very simple answer. Mitch, every time I get a guy on call, they tell me one thing. I get 5 to 10 messages like you a week from people like your company approaching us. And there's a reason why I took your call. They tell me that up front. So to answer your question, the clients and the prospects that I'm getting on the phone with speak for themselves. Major, major difference. Messaging is key, 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 especially in a overly harassed and overly targeted market. You gotta stand out from the crowd, and the way that you framed your messages, the way that the way you teach us about your messaging approach, it is something that 100% is a game changer, and it works. It made us stand out. It made us get calls. It made us like really stand out from the crowd, and people are like, okay, I'm gonna choose these guys, like sales consulting, over like all these other 10 to 20 companies weekly harassing them.
Mm. Yeah, that's critical. And I know you came up with your own like method and you kind of dialed that all in and like the depths even that you put into your pre-selling mechanism, which is really powerful. So when they watch it, it's like, oh, this is different. I want to get on the call and I want to learn more about this, right?
Yeah,
And another thing that we did was I really we really got things simplified down once we had all the systems in place and everything like that. Um, we started to help you like really build out that team, right? So
yeah,
how
yeah.
did like I know you have your brother Bilal and you guys work together, which is great. But how did like getting someone else on the team that could do like the work of 10 other 11 other people with the VA, because your VA is very efficient, right? And really getting a person like that on your team, how has building the team and getting like these like A player, like even if they're a virtual person helping you, how has that helped you scale your business? Like what has
Yeah,
that done for you guys?
yeah, great question. So it depends on where you're at in your journey, in terms of where your business is at. But one thing that allowed us to scale is the foundation that you gave us at the beginning, meaning I'm talking about processes. Everything right now in our business, the way you teach it, everything has a process from the beginning, from the get-go. And by having a structure and processes in place, it actually allows you to scale at that point. So you're 100% right. Right now, I'm at a point in my business where I am ready to scale. And one of the main reasons why I can actually even scale, it's because of that base that the EA program taught us. So because of all these processes that we have in place, now it's just literally a cookie cutter, basically. So whether we bring in one guy, one closer, or 10 or 20 closers, it doesn't matter. The processes, the structure is there. And what that is one of the key things that's being taught in your program.
Mm. Yeah, and that's so powerful because then it's just like you can just feed more into that system and that process, and you have the KPIs and the numbers to look at, and you know
Oh yeah.
exactly how it's supposed to operate because also you've done it, right? That's
Oh
one of
yeah.
the things I tell you too is like you got to do it first, and then you can go and delegate it and hand it off, right?
Oh
And
yeah,
uh,
absolutely.
and so I guess from your perspective, what was like the most valuable part of us working together, or most valuable part of the program? Like, what do you feel that was?
Man, I don't even know where to start and where to end to answer that question. What is the most valuable part? Man, everything. There isn't a single component in everything that I've learned and in everything that I've implemented that wasn't valuable. Every single piece of the puzzle is important, Mitch. But if I could maybe sum it up, I would say number one, the content is killer. So a lot of this stuff is in theory. It's action driven, meaning if you're willing to put in the work, which I assume if people are buying this program, they're going to put in the work. I mean, results are 100% going to follow. And I guess the content is number one. And the second thing is obviously the support. These two things hand in hand is the reason why we are where we are today. As simple as that. So content and support from you, from the team. That's what I would rank number two up there. But I guess I don't want to undermine anything else. Everything else is super valuable as well. Nothing. I didn't find nothing unvaluable, if I could really say it as that.
Mm. Yeah, and that's kind of how I look at it, right? Even from that systems perspective, it's like the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, you know. So we try and integrate everything, you know, holistically. Um, and I guess like what was the results you've gotten now? Like where are you guys at now? Or I know recently you messaged me and you hit a big revenue finger. So where did you guys like hit? Like what's your peak revenue you guys are at?
2020, we closed 100 deals. We did over $500,000 in revenue in like 6 months. So to answer your question, now we literally killed it this year, and it's all thanks to you, thanks to the systems, the processes we have in place. Our biggest month was a 90K month, and things are just going uphill from there. And that's all organic, no paid ads yet, and it's just me, one closer. So I'm giving you numbers that are not even significantly representative of the damage and the potential scalability that now in terms of where we can take this. So yeah, you wanted numbers. Those are the numbers for last year. But let's have this meeting again in like 6 months, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be 10xing these numbers very soon.
Awesome, man. No, I love it. And the stuff that we put in and the stuff that you're about to go into, and because it's always a natural progression, right? You're implementing, you're refining, then you're going to the next stage and you're taking it one step at a time.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
one thing that I notice about you guys, like you just relentlessly execute. And like you can even see on your wall, you print up things, you go through it, you study them, you go back through, you hop on the calls, and man, it's no wonder where you're getting results. So yeah, man, I really appreciate you hopping on. And I guess just one last thing, if for anyone that's maybe on the fence or maybe even the program that's watching this video, what would you say to them? What advice would you give them?
um, you're actually losing money by not investing in this program. You're trying to maybe look at other alternatives. You don't want to pay the upfront cost because maybe it's too much for you, or you think it's too much for you, but you're actually losing more money by not making this investment in here. I'm going to be very transparent. I was $39,000 in debt when I made the decision to join your course, Mitch. So for me, I had no money. I was actually out of money. I had probably $1,000 left. So I was in absolutely no position to come into your course. But I'm just using that story because do whatever it takes to get into this course, find the money, get a loan, do whatever it takes, because I guarantee you this is the best investment I've done in my life in terms of all the businesses and all my decisions I've done up until now. So it's a no-brainer. Anybody on the fence, jump on board, climb up, do whatever you need to do in order to jump that fence and make the leap. I guarantee you, I'm a witness of it, and that this will be the best investment you can do for your business and for your personal life moving forward. As simple as that, Mitch.
Awesome, man. I love it, man. And yeah, I was in a similar situation like when I first got started, and you know, it took me a long time, like 5 years, to figure this out. And this is the only thing I do. You know, I just live and breathe this, right? So,
It
yeah,
shows.
yeah, it took me a long time, but man, I really appreciate you hopping on, man. Grateful for you guys to be in the program and getting you some big results coming up, man. More booms
Uh,
on the way.
Absolutely, man. It's been a pleasure. And honestly, I'm the one who thanks you for giving us the opportunity to be in your program. And yeah, I look forward to keeping in touch for sure.
Awesome, brother.
All right, Mitch. Cheers, my man.